Thank you. Jasodhanandana Brajajana Ranjana Jamunatira Vanachari. Thank you. Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari. Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivaradhari. Jasodhanandana Brajajana Ranjana Jamunatira Vanachari. Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari. Jai Vishnupada Paramahamsa Parivata, His Divine Grace, A.C. Bhaktivedanta, Swami Śrīmad Bhāgavatam ki jai, Śrīmad Prabhupada ki jai, Ananta Koti, Vaishnava Vrinda ki jai, Granthra Śrīmad Bhāgavatam ki jai. Nitai Gaur Premanande, all glories to the assembled devotees, all glories to the assembled devotees, all glories to the assembled devotees, glories to Sri Guru and Sri Gauranga, glories to the Prabhupada. So today is the beginning of a new chapter, chapter 6 of the Śrīmad Bhāgavatam. The demigods and demon declare a truce. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. So this is Śrīmad Bhāgavatam, Canto 8, Chapter 6. Today's verse is just verse 1, the Chapter 6. So this is the summary of the Chapter 6, the beginning, which I need to read. This chapter describes how the Lord appeared before the demigods when they offered him their prayers. Following the advice of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, the demigods executed a truce with the demons for the purpose of churning nectar from the sea. Because of the prayers offered by the demigods in the previous chapter, Lord Kuratashaya Vishnu was pleased with the demigods, and thus he appeared before them. The demigods were almost blinded by his transcendental bodily effulgence. At first, therefore, they could not even see any part of his body. At some time, however, when Brahma could see the Lord, he, along with Lord Shiva, began to offer the Lord prayers. Lord Brahma said, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, being beyond birth and death, is eternal. He has no material qualities, yet he is the ocean of unlimited auspicious qualities. He is subtler than the most subtle. He is invincible, and his form is inconceivable. He is worshipable for all the demigods. Innumerable universes exist within his form, and therefore he is never separated from these universes by time, space, or circumstances. He is the chief and the pradhana, although he is the beginning, the middle, and the end of the material creation. The idea of pantheism, conceived by Mayavada philosophers, has no validity. The Supreme Personality of Godhead controls the entire material manifestation through his subordinate agent. The external energy, because of his inconceivable transcendental position, he is always the master of the material energy. The Supreme Personality of Godhead, in his various forms, is always present even within this material world. But the material qualities cannot touch him. One can understand him, his position, only by his instructions, as given in Bhagavad Gita, stated in Bhagavad Gita 10:10. Dadami buddhi yogam tvam. Buddhi yoga means bhakti yoga. Only through the process of bhakti yoga can one understand the Supreme Lord. When offered prayers by Lord Shiva and Lord Brahma, the Supreme Personality of Godhead was pleased. Thus he gave appropriate instructions as Ajita Inconceivable advised the demigods to make a peace, and demons, peace proposed to the demons, so that after formulating a truce, the demigods and demons could churn the ocean of milk. The rope could be the biggest serpent, known as Vasuki. And the churning rod would be Mandara mountain. Poison would also be produced from the churning, but it would be taken by Lord Shiva, and so there would be no need for fear it. Many other attractive things would be generated by the churning, but the Lord warned the demigods not to be captivated by such things. Nor should the demigods be angry if there were some disturbances. After advising the demigods in this way, the Lord disappeared from the scene. Following the instructions of the Supreme Personality of God, the demigods established a peace with Maharaj Bali, the king of the demons. Then, both the demons and the demigods started for the ocean, taking Mandara mountain with them. Because of the great heaviness of the mountain, the demigods and demons became fatigued, and some of them actually died. Then the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Vishnu, appeared there on the bank of his carrier, Garuda, and by his mercy, he brought these demigods and demons back to life. The Lord then lifted the mountain with one of his hands and placed it on the back of the Garuda. The Lord sat on the mountain and was carried to the spot of the churning by Garuda, who placed the mountain in the middle of the sea. Then the Lord asked Garuda to leave that place, because as long as Garuda was present, Vasuki could not come there. Hare Krishna. So this is a transcendental history of the Bhagavatam. First of all, it would be inconceivable for us to understand that you could lift a mountain and carry it, that you're churning it in the ocean. It's inconceivable for us to, as human beings, to understand this. But this was happening in other yugas, in the heavenly planets, not in our environment. And when they're churning this mountain, Mandara Hill, it's not in this planet, it's in the heavenly planets. And when they're churning it, they needed a big rope to tie it around it, and churn the mountain, and they will churn for the nectar to come out. Before the nectar can come, there's many other things came out when they're churning it. But it was not ordinary rope. It was Vasuki, the snake of the heavenly planets. The snake is the Vasuki is not ordinary snake, or heavenly snake. So if you pull the snake, they will die. And so they had Vasuki around the hill, and they're churning it. So there was as the history goes, and we'll read about it in the later on in the chapter, that they had the tail and the head of the Vasuki. So the demons, they said they want the head. But the head's actually not good, because they're spitting fire, and that would tire them out when they're churning it. So the demigods, they had the tail. So they had the better part of the snake, because in the tail, you don't have any fire coming out from the mouth, so they would be not tired. So, Bali Maharaj mentioned here, Bali Maharaj. He is because Bali Maharaj, he is actually a great devotee of Krishna, but at the time he was a demon, he took the heavenly planets by force, through war. You know, like they have war in this planet, and they take over the country. So Bali Maharaj was very powerful, and Prahlad Maharaj, the grandson, great-grandson of Bali Maharaj, right? So Bali Maharaj, even though he was a demon, but he's actually a great devotee of Krishna. So when he took over the heavenly planets, the demigods, they're powerless. But the demons were very powerful. They could even fight. So all the demigods, it's mentioned here, along with Shiva and Brahma, as usual, they went to the shore of the ocean and prayed to Lord Vishnu to do something about it. This is what happens whenever there's a disturbance. It says in the Bhagavad Gita, when there's a disturbance in the planet, in the material world, or any of the planets, the demigods, they go to the shore of the ocean of milk ocean, because Kiradakshaya Vishnu was lying there in the ocean of milk. Kira means sweet rice or milk. You can imagine an ocean of milk or ocean of sweet rice. That'd be amazing. We'd have to buy milk. You can just go with your truck or a bucket, go to the ocean and fill up your buckets and bring the milk, and we can make paneer and yogurt. That's in the heavenly planets. They have ocean of milk. Prabhupada said there are 7 types of ocean. 7 types. One of them is ocean of milk. Here we have, just down the road here, Ferrara Street here in Melbourne, there's the ocean of water, salt water. And some places they have so salty, the water is so salty that you could actually float on it, and that's in the Middle East. So here's less salt, but nonetheless, salt acts as preservative. So if it's fresh water, you couldn't keep it for so long. It'll go off, unless the water's flowing. That's why when you have a swimming pool, they have to constantly clean it. Or they have a machine that makes the water cleansing and creating air in it. So salt water, Krishna puts salt in the water because salt creates preservative, preserves the water for long term, it doesn't go off. So they also have freshwater ocean. So we have that freshwater ocean here. We have river, and so they have ocean of sugarcane juice. You heard of that? 7 types of ocean. Sugarcane juice. You go to India, he asks for sugarcane juice, the guy is making it. Very hard work. Now they have a machine, but previously they used to grind it, and sometimes so tired that some of its sweat goes in the sugarcane juice. Stuff like that. And it's very salty. So, my point is, they have different types of ocean. Milk ocean, yogurt, ocean of yogurt. Wow, I can't imagine. We have to, an amount of yogurt we use here, unlimited yogurt. Every day we're using the yogurt to make a lassi for our restaurant. Buckets and buckets. And every Sunday we use 2 bags of milk powder, the huge bags this size. And each bag, to make paneer from each bag of milk powder, it required 2 buckets of yogurt. And each bucket has how many? 10 liters, 10 kg. It's very heavy. And you have to know how to make paneer, because when the milk is boiling, and if you put the yogurt early, there won't be paneer. It just becomes too curdled. So, anyway, my point is there are 7 types of ocean. Ocean of yogurt. If you have ocean of yogurt here in this planet, and that will solve a lot of problems. We don't have to buy the yogurt and milk. So they have ocean of milk, ocean of yogurt, and sugarcane juice. Ganne ka ras, right, in Hindi? Ganne ka ras. It's one of my favorite juice. Usually, sugarcane juice is you drink it in the winter, because the sugarcane that grows, it's in the winter. So in the summer, the juice is not that tasty. It's sourish. I remember we growing sugarcane in Mayapur in the summertime, and it grows really well, and it's healthy, a form of sugarcane juice, and they make like a gur from sugarcane in the winter. And from that gur, you can make many things. And it's not sour, because it's not summertime. So everything has a season. That's why they always call it seasonal. So they have ocean of sugarcane juice. Who put it there? We have to work so hard to make a liter of sugarcane juice. And you have to boil it. It takes a lot of wood, firewood, or gas. But this naturally the ocean of sugarcane juice. That means Krishna is not a poor man. We say in Bengali, abhav nahi. This is not lacking of anything. Imagine ocean of milk. If we want to get a little bit of milk, you have to have cows that can provide that much milk. In India, people have cows, but they don't give much milk. Only a little bit. Only enough for family. Maybe before they had enough cows that they can give more milk. That depends the quality of grass that they feed the cows. So Krishna, he created this ocean of milk in the heavenly planet. That's why Kshiradakshaya Vishnu is lying. Kshiradakshaya Vishnu, Kshira means milk or sweet rice. These things are beyond our conception for us to understand. Ocean of sugarcane juice, who is going to believe that? People say, show it to me. Seeing is believing. So we talk to people about sugarcane juice, a planet where they have an ocean of sugarcane juice, and a planet where they have milk. They're going to think you're crazy. You're talking nonsense yourself. But that's all in the Bhagavatam. So you have to believe the Bhagavatam, what the Bhagavatam says. Don't worry about not believing it. You have to believe on the basis of the Shastra. So that means the Shastra is superior knowledge. It's not a book knowledge that you can buy from the university. This is scriptures. Scriptures is authority, authoritative knowledge. That's why Guru Sadhu Shastra. The scriptures, the Shastra is because it's written by God. Dharmamsu Sakshat Bhagavat Pranitam. Bhagavan, the God himself enunciated this knowledge. Now if you say, oh no, that's all nonsense, I don't believe that. That's your viewpoint. You don't believe it, that's your problem, isn't it? Like if you want to cook something, there's a process. How to cook that, preparation. You can look up, or someone can teach you, but doesn't mean there's no way to understand or to get that preparation. You can make it. There's a way to do it. So similarly, if you want to understand, there's a way to understand that. If you are blind, doesn't mean everybody's blind. Previously, that person, he is not blind forever. He had eyes before. Some reason or another, he was born blind. But previously in his past life, he had eyes. Or maybe through some circumstances, or he became blind. So we want to know something that depends our enthusiasm, if we want to understand. So the Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita, you can know me if you have that humility. Tad vidhi pranipatena. Tad vidhi pranipatena. Pariprasthana sevaya. Krishna says you can know through humility and humble inquiry and service. You come in here and you demand to know, never going to happen. So everything requires your attitude, your consciousness, your behavior. Then the scriptures becomes revealed when we are in this spiritually saturated with devotion. Then Krishna says here, Krishna from within the heart, He will reveal to you that knowledge. There's so many things we don't understand, isn't it? People say, seeing is believing. There's so many things we can't see with our eyes. Our eyes, it says here, right here, it says that only Shiva and Brahma could see Krishna Vishnu, even in heavenly planets. Not all the demigods could see him. Because when Lord Vishnu says, he gave him the process, what to do to churn the ocean, he gave him the guidance, the Lord Vishnu. And Brahma and Shiva, they are pure enough to see Lord Vishnu. Other demigods were there, but they didn't see. And that's the same thing happened when Krishna showed the universal form. Not everybody saw. Only 5,000 years ago. This happened in Satya Yuga, millions of years ago. Only 5,000 years ago, Krishna showed the whole universal form. Not everybody could see. Only Arjuna and few others. It doesn't mean this thing doesn't exist. So, people talk many things based on our belief, based on physical understanding, based on relativity of the material existence. But if you want to understand beyond this material hemisphere, spiritual teachings, the pastimes of Krishna, churning of the Mandara hill that took place in millions of years ago, then you have to read the scriptures. And even the scriptures, it has to be written by authoritative source, Vaishnavas, sadhus, great devotees, who has great devotion for Krishna. They did not write something which is, like Prabhupada says, a Mayavada interpretation. Like if you want to learn, you go to a proper school where they'll teach you. You want your son and daughter to learn, then you put them in a school that they're going to learn nicely, qualified teachers, highly paid, they learn before, and you pay so much money so they can learn. So similarly, if you want to learn Vedic science, spiritual teachings and knowledge, you have to learn from Guru Parampara system that came down from Krishna. So who in the world is going to know that they turned a mountain with a Vasuki snake as a rope, used as a rope, And then in order to get the nectar, they would get many other things beforehand when they're churning it. Just like in the olden days in India, they make makhan, right? They have a now machine process how to make butter. But previously, on Krishna's time, not even Krishna's time, even much later than that, they want to make butter, it's from yogurt. So first of all, you have to know how to make yogurt. So if you don't know how to make yogurt, and you're talking about butter, sounds good. So everything has a process to get to where you want, what you want to achieve. So if you want to make butter, you have to churn yogurt. But the yogurt has to be really good yogurt, quality, creamy. Then also the quality of butter is good. Sometimes when you put the butter on a pan, you got water's coming out because they add water in it. Cheating. Pure butter doesn't do that. There's no water. So that means when they churn, the yogurt had a lot of water in it. So when you churn nicely, you have to make sure that all the water evaporates out while all the water is gone. Then you get quality butter. That's why they have different types of butter. Hey, butter from New Zealand, butter from Devonport, Tasmania, different types of butter. And then they have butter from Europe, quality butter. They have to pay more. So similarly, what I'm saying is, so when you're churning the butter, what happens is you get all the stuff coming up. Then you scoop off the butter and put it aside. And then you process that, or that becomes butter. And still, at the end, there's remnants of butter left on top of. And the water is actually very healthy. They say it's really good for your stomach and stuff. So that's the process. So when they're churning the Mandara hill in the ocean of milk, and it says here, they carried this hill from somewhere. It's a big hill that demigods were carrying, because that's the instruction they got from Krishna, from Mahavishnu, Krishna Vishnu, to bring it in a particular place in the ocean and churn it. So they had to carry that Mandara hill. It was so heavy, it says here, so heavy that some of the demigods died, got crushed underneath. Even here, when they're making a bridge or something, many people died. But it says here that when Krishna came, he gave them their life back, because this is all pastimes. So what happened is that when they're churning the hill, Mandara hill in the ocean, they're churning and churning, and at one point they got poison coming out from churning. Before they can get the nectar, all these different things came out. And so much poison, ocean of poison. What do you do with the ocean of poison? And nobody knew what to do. Lord Shiva said, I'll take care of it. He drank it. That's why Lord Shiva is known as, what's he known as? Nilkantha. His throat, because the poison went in his throat, and his throat became nil, bluish, right? Kind of bluish or purplish. When you've been by a snake, if the poison, you can extract the poison out, then it's be all over, spread all over your body, and your body becomes purple due to the poison. So that's why Lord Shiva is bluish around the neck. So Lord Shiva is so great that he could drink an ocean of poison. Unbelievable. We can't imagine that. And sometimes people say, oh, Lord Shiva, he smoked ganja or something. I haven't heard he smoked ganja. So we always argue with them. If Lord Shiva smoked ganja, then he also drank the poison, ocean of poison. So you can imitate God. We can follow the instruction of Krishna. We can follow the instruction of devotees. Don't try to imitate Krishna. That's what Krishna says. You can know me through bhakti. But if you want to imitate Krishna, then you have to also do what Krishna did. Like lifting the heel. So we can follow his instruction to become Krishna's devotee, a good devotee. But not imitate what Krishna did. Because Krishna is Bhagavan, is God. He's the Supreme Personality of Godhead. He's the source of everything. Like it says here in this purport. So I haven't read the verse yet. Maybe we'll read the verse tomorrow. Okay. How much time we have? It's 8 o'clock. Okay. We'll read the verse now. So today's verse is text 1, Canto 8, Chapter 6, text 1. Sri Shuka Uvacha Evam Stuta Suraganair Bhagavan Hari Ishraha Tesham Avira Rajan Sahasarka Daya Dutihi. Sri Shuka Uvacha Evam Stuta Suraganair Bhagavan Haririshraha Tesham Avira Budrajan Sahasrarko Daya Dutihi. Sri Shuka Uvacha Dayaduti. Evam Sutta Suraganair Bhagavan Haririshraha Tesham Avira Buddharajan. You want to try? Sri Shuka Uvacha. Sri Shukadeva Goswami said, Evam, in this way, Sutaha, being worshipped by prayers, Shuraganai, by the demigods, Bhagavan, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Harihi, the vanquisher of all inauspiciousness, Isharaha, the Supreme Controller, Tesham, in front of Lord Brahma and all the demigods, Avirabhut, appeared there, Rajan, O King Parikshit, Sahasra of thousands, Arka of suns, Udaya like the rising, Dutihi his effulgence. Sri Shukadeva Goswami said, O King Parikshit, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Hare, being thus worshipped with prayers by the demigods and Lord Brahma, appeared before them. His bodily effulgence resembled the simultaneous rising of thousands of suns. No purport. Next verse. Tanaiva sahasa sarve deva patihate kanshanaha napashyam kam disha shonim atmanam cha kuto vibhum. The vision of all the demigods was blocked by the Lord's effulgence. Thus, they could see neither the sky, the directions, the land, nor even themselves. What to speak of seeing the Lord who was present before them. Next verse is really long. I'm just going to read the translation. Lord Brahma, along with Lord Shiva, saw the crystal clear personal beauty of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, whose blackish body resembles a Marakata gem, whose eyes are reddish like the depths of a lotus, who is dressed with garments that are yellow like molten gold, and whose entire body is attractively decorated. They saw his beautiful, smiling, lotus-like face, crowned by a helmet bedecked with valuable jewels. The Lord has attractive eyebrows, and his cheeks are adorned with earrings. Lord Brahma and Lord Shiva saw the belt on the Lord's waist, the bangles on his arms, the necklace on his chest, and the ankle belts on his legs. The Lord is bedecked with flower garlands. His neck is decorated with the Kaustuba gem, and he carries with him the goddess of fortune and his personal weapons, like his disc and clubs. When Lord Brahma, along with Lord Shiva and the other demigods, thus saw the form of the Lord, they all immediately fell to the ground, offering their obeisances. This one has purport. Shri Brahma Vacha Ajata Janma Sita Semya Mayaya Gunaya Nirvana Shukaran Vaya Hanur Anmine Pariganya Dhamne Mahanu Bhavaya Namo Namaste. Translation. Lord Brahma said, although you are never born, your appearance and disappearance as an incarnation never cease. You are always free from the material qualities, and you are the shelter of transcendental bliss. And shelter of transcendental bliss, resembling an ocean, eternally existing in a transcendental form. You are the supreme subtle of the most extremely subtle. We therefore offer our respectful obeisances unto you, the Supreme, whose existence is inconceivable. Purport. The Lord says in Bhagavad Gita 4:6, Api ajopi sannayavatma bhutanamash saropi shan prakriti mishyam adhistyaya samavayamyatmamaya. Although I am unborn and my transcendental body never deteriorates, and although I am the Lord of all sentient beings, I still appear in every millennium in my original transcendental form. In the following verse, in Bhagavad Gita 4:7, the Lord says, Yada yada hi dharmasya kalani bhavati bharata avitanam dharmasya tadatmanam srijamyam. Whenever and wherever there is a decline in religious practice or descendant of Bharata, and a predominant rise of religion, at that time I descend myself. Thus, although the Supreme Lord is unborn, there is no cessation to his appearance in different forms as incarnation, like Lord Krishna and Lord Rama. Since his incarnation is eternal, the various activities performed by these incarnations are also eternal. The Supreme Personality of the Godhead does not appear because he is forced to do so by karma. The Supreme Personality of Godhead does not appear because he is forced to do so by karma like ordinary living entities who are forced to accept a certain type of body. It is to be understood that the Lord's body and activities are all transcendental, being free from the contamination of the material modes of nature. These pastimes transcendental bliss to the Lord. The word apariganya dhamne is very significant. There is no limit to the Lord's appearance in different incarnations. All of these incarnations are eternal, blissful, and full of knowledge. So these are the qualities of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. He appears according to his own will. That you have to understand. Not like us ordinary living entities. We take our birth here due to our karma. That's why everybody is different. Someone's born in here, someone's born in another place. In different family, different color, different race. This is karma. Someone is taken birth as animals. Someone is poor, someone is rich, someone is black, someone is, white, like this. Or someone is deformed. This is all karma. So Krishna appears in this world because he appears when he wants to appear. For a purpose. He appears, it's mentioned, to re-establish the dharma. That's what it says in that verse. Yada yada hi dharmasya glanir bhavati bharata. He's telling Bharata, that I come here to re-establish the dharma. Yada yada hi dharmasya glani, when there is a decline in religion. I come to establish the dharma. That is his purpose of coming here. One of the purposes. But actually, it's also mentioned that when the Lord comes here, his purpose is to associate with his devotees. That is intimate purpose. The real reason for the Lord to come here, he also wants to come associate with his devotees here in this planet, in the material world. Of course, there's no such thing as material world for Krishna. Wherever he goes is spiritual world. Just like a king. He may go into prison to visit the prisoners. Doesn't mean he becomes a prisoner. Understand? So when the Lord comes here, he wants to associate with prisoners like us or devotees. So the Lord has a purpose, but all his purpose are fulfilled with one purpose of being here. That at the same time, he establishes dharma by lifting the Govardhan hill, by killing the demon. And he says that when the Lord comes, he doesn't kill the demon. The Vishnu kills the demon because Krishna is playing flute. There is no Sudarshan Chakra. So who's killing the demons? Narayan, he has the forearms. That's why he has a disc and club. Why is it necessary to have a disc and club? He used for security, for kill the demons. But Krishna is playing the flute. He has the weapons. So Vishnu kills through Krishna. Because some people say that Vishnu is the supreme. Narayan is the supreme. Like in the south of India, they say Vishnu is the supreme. Of course, he is the supreme. But Krishna is superior to Narayan. So, because when Krishna appeared, he had two arms. As a child, if you read the Krishna book, he didn't appear with four arms. Then he appeared as four arms to Devaki. But when Vasudeva took him in the basket across the Yamuna, and baby Krishna, 2 arms. So it's mentioned that Manushim Rupam, God form, our body is in the image of God who has 2 arms. Krishna has 2 arms. So Vishnu is the supreme, but Krishna is the supreme personality of Godhead. He is not the superior to Krishna, Vishnu. So Vishnu has a duty to do. Everybody has to work. Krishna doesn't work. Who goes to the forest with the flute? Krishna is playing flute. You don't go to work. You all work, right? You all work. You don't take a flute with you because you have to work. So Krishna, he is Bhagavan. He is playing the flute, you can see, on the altar. But Vishnu, he has disc and a club because he needs to work. He has to kill the demons. He has a job to do. Lord Balaram, he's Krishna's older brother because next week is going to be Balaram Appearance Day. Yeah, lots of kirtan. Lord Balaram he appeared before Krishna. A week later, Krishna appears. That means Balaram, like he's known as Dausi, older brother. But Lord Balaram worships Krishna. He is servant of Krishna. That is in the spiritual world, there is no jealousy. Everyone is serving Krishna with happiness. You know, your older brother, you shall serve me. You tell the younger brother. So somebody asked Prabhupada, why Balaram should be the Supreme Personality of Godhead? Because he appeared before Krishna, he's older to Krishna, so why he should be the Supreme Personality of Godhead? But we have our deity in Vrindavan, Krishna Balaram. Right? How does Lord Balaram, what's Lord Balaram doing? Lord Balaram has his arms on the shoulder of Krishna. So Prabhupada said he's resting on Krishna. He's depending on Krishna. Even though he is older brother, he's take the servitorship of Krishna, servant to Krishna. So when you sit on the side of the wall, you rest your back on the wall. Actually, that's Lord Balaram. Lord Balaram, he is the temple. Because Lord Balaram is serving Krishna. You could say altar is Krishna. The chamara and all the fans and things, paraphernalia that we use to worship Krishna, that's Balaram. Because Balaram wants to serve Krishna. So that's how we know that there's no jealousy in the spiritual world. There's competition. He make better gala than me for Krishna. That kind of competition. But there's no quarrel. So, Krishna is full of unlimited qualities. That's what we have to observe. We have to observe our mind on the transcendental pastimes of Krishna. Krishna comes, performs his Leela pastimes because he wants us to be attracted to him. We are attracted to all the material things in this world. But no one can copy Krishna. He's Bhagavan, the most beautiful. And he is most wealthy. He is the owner of the universe. And it's very strong. We are attracted to wealthy and strong and famous people, and Krishna is that. Even if you have everything material, still you have to leave everything behind. We are enamored by material nature. We are affected by the material nature in this world. We have to suffer. But Krishna doesn't suffer. Like I said, when Krishna comes here, he is still the Supreme Lord. Even if he's here for hundreds of years, Krishna is still a young boy. Nava Yovanam, eternally youthful. That's Bhagavan. We have to be attracted to Krishna. When you dress up Krishna, you see in the altar, so beautiful. Actually, we sing that in the evening, the Gaur Harati. He's wearing a garland of a flower, made out of flower, and Vajayanta Mala, of a forest flower and leaves. He doesn't have to decorate Krishna with so much jewelry. He's already beautiful, actually. But Krishna accepts our service. We want to see him with all the jewelry, so he allows us to serve him. But actually, Krishna is very beautiful. You don't need to fill him up with all the jewelry. So when Krishna comes to this world, he performs his lila, pastimes. We don't call ourselves, when we do something, a lila, or pastimes. It's not lila. When Krishna wants to eat, he can eat heaps of food. That's a lila. But he can eat a little bit. He can abstract a little bit of food from your plate. That's called bhakti. And he's satisfied, totally satisfied. He doesn't grossly have to eat it. At the same time, he can also eat a mountain of food, like he did. Govardhan Hill. That's going to be coming, Govardhan Puja, one of my favorite festivals. An envious person will say, wow, your God, so many people are hungry and your God is eating all that. There's poor countries, there's not enough food, and your Krishna, you're preparing so much. The problem is because we're not offering Krishna. That's why they're hungry. Krishna can eat and they'll be satisfied. It's very mystical. The problem comes when we are not recognizing the Supreme. We're not chanting Krishna's name. Bereft of God consciousness, then there is sin, there's suffering in the world. So when Krishna appears, full of transcendental qualities. And even this Mandara hill we're talking about, we're going to be explaining in later on the chapter. This is all very amazing stories. Why is it written in the Bhagavatam? Because this is why we need to read Bhagavatam, because these stories are there as a history as well as philosophy at the same time. We sing the song every day. Guru Puja song, Mangalarati songs. They're not just songs like people sing in a cinema song or Bollywood song. These are philosophy. That's what they say in the spiritual world. They don't just talk. Hey, give me the salt. I bring my clothing. They sing. It's all happiness. Everything they do is a song. They're walking as a dance. They're not just walking. They dance all the way from here to the kitchen. That's the expression of their happiness. So, spiritual world, when Krishna appears, he brings that, resembles here, that mood of the spiritual world, right here. That's why when we walk in here, you're not in the material world anymore. You're in a mandir. You're Krishna's place. You're Krishna's home. But you have to tune in that consciousness. Even here in the spiritual world, we could be tainted with Maya, material consciousness. Because, I'm tired, I'm hungry, I feel... we are affected by Maya, even in front of Krishna. This is why when Krishna appeared 5,000 years ago, not everybody could understand him, because they are not pure. Krishna is right in front of them. Are you Bhagavan? They're asking him. That's why you have to show universal form, to make them understand. That's what he says in the summary of the chapter. That the Lord, when he appeared, his body was, effulgence were emanating from his body, and others couldn't see him because of the effulgence. When Krishna was a child in Vrindavan, and he was stealing the butter from the gopis' maid. You know, like I was saying before, to make butter is not an easy thing to do. A lot of churning, a lot of work. Now they have a machine to make butter. So if you're churning and make the butter, and Krishna was just throwing it around and feeding it to the monkeys and eating it, that's like, it's not on. But then, so they said, they didn't have, those days they didn't have electricity. And it's all, they had jewels on the wall that could light up. Like, you know, they had Taj Mahal. In India, they have Taj Mahal. And when I was living in Hong Kong, I brought Chinese students with me to India, sightseeing. They paid me good money for it. So I was like a tourist guide. I took to Agra, even Vrindavan. And so I took them to Taj Mahal. And they said there's gaps on the wall. Previously, they had diamonds in it. The British, they took it out. They kept just the normal jewelry, like color stones. So if you didn't have any electricity, those time, in Krishna's time, they had jewels on the wall that could light up. So they said, and Krishna was wearing a jewel. So they took the jewel away from Krishna. Because they said, how could Krishna see where that yogurt is hanging? So maybe because the light was coming from the jewel on his body. But they didn't know Krishna himself, he has all the effulgence in his body. It's not like, it's all knowing. But Mother Yashoda was under spell of Yogamaya. It's all pastimes. You know? Mahamaya, Yogamaya. You know that? Because Krishna didn't want her to know that's like Krishna has all this power. He wanted Krishna to see him as her son. That's the pastimes. Because that mood of motherhood and childhood is a very unique pastime to the Lord. But they prayed for it. They prayed Krishna to have God as their son in the past life. That's why. So anyway, so it says here, when the Lord appeared, only Brahma and Shiva could see because the effulgence coming from his body. They're blinded by the effulgence. You know, we look at the sun. When the sun rises in the sky, we see the sun. You can't directly look at it. You go blind. You can't see stuff. So bright. And yet, at the same time, we know that the sun is only the effulgence that coming out of the Lord's body. How powerful it is. All the light we see, electricity, gas, anything hot, this originates from the sun. And the sun, Yasakshuresha Savita Sakala Grahanam, Graha, the stars. Yasakshuresha Savita, Savita is the sun. We chant the Gayatri, Savita is the mantra. The sun and the moon, just Chakshuresha is his eyes, only his eyes. So if you look at Krishna, he burned out because his eyes are like sun. But he cools it. Like when you look at the moon, it's very cooling. It's different from the sun. Koti Chandra Sushitala, Lord Nityananda is known as like the moon, millions of moon, very cooling. I lived with China for many years. They have a festival called Moon Festival. They even have moon cake. They eat that. It's in the shape of a moon. And we can't eat it because they always put meat and eggs and stuff. But they have vegetarian moon cake. And sometimes the devotees make it. So they all go out at night, look at the moon. They say it's very lucky to see the moon. And I never saw the moon because it's always cloudy. So they have this festival. They have this idea of respecting moon. We know that sun and moon is an emanation of God. Very powerful. So it says here that when the Lord appeared, from his body, there was effulgence coming out of his body. Not everybody see him because of the effulgence. It's so strong. So Similarly, it's mentioned, Premanjana Churita Bhakti Vilochanena. Lord Brahma says that we have to taint our eyes with love of devotion. Then Krishna he will bless you. He will give His blessing and mercy for allow us to see Him. It's not that we can just see Him. So that's the process. The process is two ways. When we have to qualify ourselves to see Him, Prabhupada said, we have to act in a way that God will see us. It's not that, show it to me. And then Krishna is so afraid and so scared that he needs to see you because we threaten him. He appears according to his own will. He comes here his own will, his own desire. He comes to see his devotees. That's the inner meaning of his appearance. Not just killing the demons. Like I said, Vishnu kills the demon, but he himself is performing pastimes. Like that's why the story of Yasoda and Nanda Maharaj, Devaki and Vasudev, because he's playing a role as a son of Mother Yasoda and Devaki, foster father Nanda Maharaj. He's coming here to perform his lila pastimes. At the same time, he's killing demons. But he didn't come with the Sudarshan Chakra. And they have the Gopashtami coming up also. We worship cows. People in the West, they don't understand how you can worship an animal. I've seen people walk across the street with a dog in their lap. They're worshipping cats and dogs, kissing their animal, right? You are one of them. But of course that dog is devotee. A devotee. But imagine having a cow in your backyard. So Krishna, he wanted to go to the forest and he was going to the forest for the first time, and his parents said he need to wear shoes. To go to the forest, you have to wear shoes. And he said, if you want me to go to wear a shoe, then you have to make shoes for all my cows. That's Gopashtami. He went barefoot because there's no time to make shoes for all the cows. He had that many cows, 900,000, almost 1 million cows. So Krishna, he comes to perform his pastimes. It's not that Krishna, he is the Supreme Personality of Godhead, that he's going to get hurt. The ground will give way to Krishna's feet. Wherever the Lord put his feet on, that particular spot will become soft because the ground is serving Krishna. The earth is serving Krishna, the trees are serving Krishna, the cows is serving Krishna. It's mentioned that the trees in Vrindavan, they would bend down when Krishna came. That's why there's a place you call Sevakunj. All the trees are curly. They went in ecstasy when they saw Krishna, and they're very low. But it's all pastimes. Oh, she was thinking when Krishna put his feet down, he's going to get hurt from the stone on the ground. Hare, we all know the earth is God is walking on the earth. Earth will make the ground soft for the Lord to walk. But Krishna created that feeling for his devotees so we can increase our love for him. Everything has a reason. You know, when the Garuda, the big bird, is huge. The bird is huge. He's flying in the sky. You can put a building on it, a planet so big. But when it comes down here, it reduces the size. So we can see him. So we can serve Krishna. I was thinking like how uncomfortable it is to ride on a bird. It'd be very wobbly. And no seat. You know, like an airplane, you have a first class, business class. And then you're sitting on the Garuda, back of Garuda, it'd be very wobbly. And how you can sit, it'd be so uncomfortable. But this is our vision. We don't know how it is. Probably nothing like what we think of. How comfortable it would be is beyond our conception. We have airplanes, but it's no guarantee that you will live. They take you to the other destination. Maybe you have an accident, everybody dies. Or you have a turbulence, you hit your head on the ceiling and you die. There's uncertainty. But Garuda, there's no accidents. So Krishna comes to perform his lila, all kinds of lila, perform his beautiful pastimes that's so attractive. Understand? They say, no, I don't believe in that. Fine. If you don't believe, that's not Krishna's problem, your problem. Like if you give halava, we love halava, and sweet rice, and puri, and all the good food we eat, to a pig. They won't appreciate. They mix with the dirt and eat it, because that's what they are. So people with that mundane consciousness, they don't appreciate the character, the transcendental quality of Bhagavan, of Krishna. So that's why you have to purify your senses. You have to purify your senses. You have to be humble to understand this quality of the Lord. You can't just demand to see, if your guru comes, Guru Maharaj, I want to see you. No. You have to make appointment, talk to his servant, and then you can go see your guru. Similarly, Guru Krishna Pasade Paye Bhakti Lata Bij. The creeper of devotion that will grow in your heart by the mercy of a guru, blessing of a guru, by the mercy of Krishna that you got Guru, and by the mercy of Guru you got Krishna. So it's two ways. It's not that you can just demand. Everything in the spiritual world based on blessing, based on mercy. Guru Bhakti based on Guru Shakti, the mercy of the spiritual master that enables us to go forward to make spiritual advancement. Blessing, that's why, please, Sadhu, bless me. Because we understand that's how it works. Like even if you get a job, somebody has to introduce you. Or your friend or something. There's connection there. Not that you can demand. Similarly in the spiritual path, in the same way, you have to see Krishna, there's a way. That way is paddhati, a process. That process is through Guru, through the spiritual master who will show you the path. And you have to serve the Guru with a menial service attitude, humility. Tat vidhi pranipatena. Not you demand. Even if you have everything that can buy Krishna, you have to have humility, you have to have devotional character. Even if you are the owner of a multi-company and billionaire, doesn't mean you can see Krishna. Krishna has to see you because you are a rich person. You have to come here, pay obeisance to Krishna, bow down in front of the spiritual master, take off your shoes. The Goswamis of Vrindavan, they put a stick in between their teeth to express their humility. Rupa Goswami and Sanatana Goswami, they were as wealthy as the Kuvera in the heavenly planet. Only 500 years ago. They had boat full of gold coins. You know how much money that is at that time? You can buy Australia with it. They gave it all up to Sri Krishna. That's what it requires to Sri Krishna, your humility and your enthusiasm, not material wealth. So these things it says here, that the effulgence that are coming out of the body of Mahavishnu, that the demigods were blinded by it. They couldn't see because They were not qualified. Brahma and Shiva could see Vishnu. Other demigods couldn't. Even if you're demigod, you cannot see Krishna. That's why it's mentioned in the Bhagavatam that the devotees are higher than the demigods. You have to take birth in a Vaishnava family and spread Krishna consciousness. Go on Harinam, distribute books, serve prasadam, clean the deity's plate, worship the deity, hear the Bhagavatam, live in a holy place, associate with devotees. Not that you can just demand. There's so many things you need to do to see Krishna. Krishna is always there. Like if you find gold in the dirty place, gold is gold. You just have to clean it off and you will find the gold underneath. So we are born with Krishna consciousness, but we need to purify our heart. It's not that Taddure tadantike. God is very far, but He's also very near. He's sitting in your own heart. But we can't yet at the same time see Him because our heart is not pure. So the effulgence coming from the body of the Lord, it's right there. They couldn't see. Because you have to purify. And the process is Bhakti Yoga, associating devotees, chanting Hare Krishna. Not I come to temple, serve me. I am here, I am. But you have to have the humility. Fall at the feet of Krishna in the temple, Dandavat. The Goswamis is mentioned that they would pay this Dandavat like a stick. Like a tree falling down. And sometimes they have a storm and the tree falling, boom, we can hear it, the sound. They pay their obeisances like a stick. And they have a stick in their mouth to show their humility. Not a quick one. No, you have to express that you want to attract Krishna. You can attract Krishna through that attitude. Trinadapi sunichena. Trina, trina means grass. People here, like in Australia, you can actually buy grass to make a lawn. They grow grass somewhere. And then they peel it off the ground, and then they roll that to make a lawn of grass. And so, it's such an amazing thing. We depend on the grass to make your lawn looking good, people stepping on it. So we have to be humble like the grass. One devotee was saying, "Oh Prabhu, you've been a devotee for so long. How do you do it?" And because he was having a problem. So I said, I am not asking for big position and power and this and that. I just want to serve Krishna, be with the devotees, that's all. Then you will have no problem. But when you're looking for power and position and name and fame and this and that, material things, then you have a problem. Isn't it? Sounds good? You understand? But if you just want to serve Krishna, your motivation is to actually serve Krishna, then you're not going to have any problem. Hare Krishna. Kaisa hai? Bahut badhiya. Okay. So we have 15 more minutes. I'm talking about Krishna. So it's not in Hindi, so you can understand English. It's okay, right? Yeah, that's fine. Yeah. We're talking about Krishna. He appears. Krishna, He appeared this month. Janmashtami. You heard of Janmashtami? Krishna comes this month, 27th, right? 27th of this month, Krishna appeared in Vrindavan. You believe or not? Yeah. Some people say, I don't believe. Right? Millions of people are going to Vrindavan. That means they're all fools. They're wasting their time. Some people coming from America, Europe, Australia, they go to Vrindavan to see Krishna because Krishna appeared there. So you think they are all wasting their time? No, Krishna appeared and He's there. Krishna is there. These places still exist today because He appeared 5,000 years ago. It's all proven. 90 miles from Delhi, that place Krishna appeared is Vrindavan. Prabhupada writes, It's the replica of the spiritual world. In Bharatvarsha. Bharatvarsha means greater India, not just what we see today, the whole world. Bharat means greater India. So Krishna appeared 5,000 years ago. He also appeared as Brahma, as Lord Ram, and he appeared as Krishna 5,000 years ago. Then Chaitanya Mahaprabhu 500 years ago, near Mayapur, in Mayapur, near Jagannath Puri. So many different forms of Krishna. Krishna appeared as Varaha, Lord Nrsimhadev. So many different avatars. So, this is what we are talking about in this chapter. So when the Lord appears, He comes to annihilate the demons and to attract His devotees to come to Him, to bring them back to the spiritual world. That is the main purpose, to perform His Leela with His devotees. So you have to be able to relish the pastimes of the Lord with His ear. Shravanam Kirtanam. You have to hear the pastimes of Krishna through your ear. That's how you can see Krishna. You can't see Krishna with your eyes. When you look at the moon and the sun, right? The moon looks like a one roti, chapati, right? But the sun and the moon, according to the books, is bigger than the planet. So information has to come from scriptures. We accept what's written in the scriptures. So when you see something, you will not understand. Eyes is not the way to see, you have to hear. So the scripture says you have to hear the topics of Krishna through your ear. Shravanam Kirtanam Vishnu. Shravana means to hear. When you see Krishna, He didn't speak to you, He's just there standing doing nothing. But He is there. We have to take information from the scriptures as an authority. Scriptures is the authority. Just like in India, they're using the cow dung. You know cow dung? They're using to smear the wall. But if you tell that to the Western person, they use the cow dung to clean the floor. They said, you're nuts. It's not clean, cow dung. But scientists will tell you, cow dung is antiseptic, very clean. That's what they clean, right? And the scripture says, cow dung is coming from the cow because cow is a sacred animal. We don't say dog is sacred, we say cow is sacred. So it's not depends on me. I speak what the scriptures say. So you have to accept the scriptures as higher authority. Understand? So seeing is not believing. Because so many things I can't see. I can't see beyond the wall. I presume there is Dank Street. But I can't see beyond the wall. So if you say, I can't see, show me. Seeing is believing. But many things we can't see with our eyes. We haven't seen. I've never met my grandfather, but he was there. So seeing is not the answer or believing. You have to accept the truth from the scriptures. That's called Guru Parampara system. The system is that the disciple learned from his guru, and that guru learned from his guru, so the knowledge is handed down from Krishna down to us. Chain of disciplic succession. Understand? So everything is based on the understanding of Gyan. Jnana Yoga. Knowledge. Not knowledge about ABC, how to get your PhD, or knowledge of computer science, but spiritual knowledge. How to be an accountant. That's all material knowledge. Right? So, we can talk a lot. If you have any questions, Please ask. We've been talking since 8 o'clock. Yeah, you all came late, so usually we finish by 9 o'clock. Any questions? Jackaroo? You have to start off so others can ask something. Yes, Maraji.
Full surrender, fully surrendering to Krishna. They say we should fully surrender to Krishna, totally Atma Samarpan, you know. So Prabhu, please explain this. How do you fully surrender to Krishna?
Usually, if we are holding on to something, we're not fully surrendered. We still have lingering of desires. Yeah, there's too much for fully surrender. So, there's one person said to Prabhupada, "Oh Swamiji, can you give me your blessing?" He insisted, Prabhupada, to have his blessing. You know, Swamiji, Hasibado. Keep nagging Prabhupada. Prabhupada didn't want to say anything. So he keeps saying, "Swamiji, please bless me." So Prabhupada got angry and he says, "You really want the mercy of Krishna, of me? Are you ready to live on the side of the road with nothing? Like no possession, you know, that's surrender." He said, "No, Swamiji, that's okay, I'll see you later." So, we talk about surrender, so many things, yet, you know, we're keeping so many things for ourselves. And we're giving a lecture on surrender. Oh, you surrender to Krishna while you were sitting on, you know, someone's opulent. Surrender means when you have nothing for yourself. We accept things for Krishna, but for you, you are detached from it. Like a lotus leaf, Krishna says, in the water, but it's not touched by water. It will slide off. So you can be surrounded by wealth, but you know this is all Bhagwan Kahe. This all belongs to Krishna. It's for His service. You're using for His service. So you remain aloof from it. You detach yourself. When you have food or no food, you don't care. You're happy to serve Krishna. But when you have attachment in your heart, oh, my beautiful daughter, oh, my this, my that, then there's attachment. At the end of our life, it begins every day, end of our life. The end of the day is you and God. Actually, when you go to sleep, it's you and God. I told you before. But if you want that kind of feeling, you have to observe yourself in the Naam, chanting Hare Krishna, fully thinking of Krishna. Tears in your eyes, fully thinking of Krishna. It is since the Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, when he used to chant Hare Krishna, was tears coming from his eyes. So much love. We talk about love, but we make sure we are okay first. I have a nice place to live, I have nice bank balance, then we say, surrender. We take care of ourselves. Then we give big lecture about surrender. But surrender, it's not like that. You have to surrender to the instruction of your guru. A disciple will not eat until the guru tells him to eat. That's how it's mentioned. How? The standard of surrender. But Prabhupada is merciful. At least we can follow 4 regulatory principles. No meat eating, no gambling, no illicit sex, no intoxication, chant 16 rounds, associate with devotees, hear the Bhagavatam, come to the temple. When you can do this thing nicely, that's surrender. We find so difficulty to come to temple. We come once a week or whenever you want to. You know, but there's no pure enthusiasm in us. We're not showing the urgency. when you see the urgency that we are crying for Krishna, we're running for Krishna, that is surrender. How many of us actually do that? We're sitting here, but our mind might be somewhere else. So surrender starts with your own self, from the heart, from your mind, from your consciousness. So many things we can talk about when you talk about surrender. There's a book called Surrender by Prabhupada. We can read about it. There's so much is expected from us to please Guru. You really read about the Acharyas. Rupa Goswami, Sanatana Goswami, the 6 Goswamis. They gave up all the things. They're running after Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Oh Krishna, where are you? Hey Bhagavan. We are running after sense enjoyment. If something happens, or like, try to see Krishna, love Krishna so much that tears are not coming when you chant Hare Krishna. When you chant Hare Krishna, okay, you don't want to show everyone that you're crying. At least do something about it. Go indoor and cry. At least you know for yourself where your level of surrender is. You don't have to tell everybody. Okay, Krishna knows your surrender, but at least we have to start. So, surrender is a big thing. It's a big word. And not I can tell you in 5 minutes, surrender. Basically, surrender means that you surrender to Guru, the spiritual master. The spiritual master, like Srila Prabhupada, is the prime example of what a disciple is. You know, he went to America on a ship with 40 rupees, 1965, was an elderly man. Because his spiritual master told him to preach Bhagavad Gita in English to the Western country. He could have said, oh, that's impossible, I can't do that. I'm not the person. But he didn't. He took the instruction to his heart. You know, he could have died. He had a heart attack. That's surrender. But we come first before Guru. Then tell the Guru, we make a plan, then we go with our plan to the Guru. This is my plan, I want this. That's not surrender. Guru will tell you, don't make your own plan. You know what I mean? So when you talk about surrender, we make our plan and we present our plan to the Guru. And we expect Guru to give blessing. Actual surrender means we go to Guru and ask him pleasing, like, Shishasteham sadi mam tvam prapanam. Arjuna told Krishna, I'm your soul, surrender unto you. I'm your disciple, please instruct me. He didn't have a plan. He says in Bhagavad Gita, Arjuna, his closest friend. And we make a plan, and we go to Guru. And we expect Guru to bless us. But surrender means, full surrender means, you have no plan of your own. You just serve Krishna because you love Krishna. And it says, we read in the Shikshashtaka, he can handle me roughly or embrace me roughly, I will surrender to you unconditionally. That's surrender. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu said right there. We have problem, please, let's go to the temple. When you don't have a problem, I'm okay, I don't need God. I remember I used to work for a Gujarati family, a guy in Hong Kong. And he used to always tell me, pray to your deity, pray to Krishna, that our business go well. I told him it's not my business to do that. It's up to Krishna. We work hard, but we ask Krishna for how we can serve him, love him, bhakti, not to make money. And our business was going really well. I didn't ask for everything. So when you go to Krishna, Sudama Prabhu went to Krishna because his wife told him, go, we're living in a such poor condition. And your friend, living in Dwarka, so rich, go ask him for some help, financial help. He said, no, I'm not going to Krishna for material thing. I love him with my heart. I don't want anything from him. That's unconditional love. But she insisted, go there, and he went. He even forgot to ask him. But when he came back, his house was turned into a golden palace. That means Krishna knows us. But our service to Krishna comes first. But doesn't mean Krishna will take away. He knows us more than we know ourselves. He will assist us in every way to serve Him. For His service, He will give everything. But the problem is when we think, I'm the enjoyer, then this problem comes. But if we put Krishna in the center, things go smoothly. For His service. Look at this temple. You don't think Krishna is here. Krishna is also there in a simple place, not in a very rich place. So Krishna is there in the heart of an elephant. He's also in the heart of an ant. He's not saying, oh, they give me halwa, puri, pani, sabji. I'm going to the temple there. He will eat what's offered in love and devotion. Patram pupam phalam toyam. So that comes with surrender. That comes with understanding. Okay?
Thank you, Prabhu.
Anybody else? Give him the microphone. You have a question too?
She has.
That's okay.
If you have to surrender, what should be our purpose actually? Like we all like coming to get something, right? But
like
ultimately, what should be the purpose of our life?
Yeah, like I said, even the gopis, it's mentioned that the gopis are the highest devotees of Krishna after Radharani. Gopis, Vrindavan. No one can be higher devotees than them. Even gopis, they went to Durga. We are not supposed to go to the demigod for anything. They went to Durga to worship Katyayani. But there they were asking Durga to bless them so they could be serving Krishna nicely. So you can have, when you go to Krishna, you can ask Krishna to, if he's material, at least you can say, okay, put me in a condition, whatever you like, it's up to you. But allow me to serve you. But if you ask Krishna for material things, that is not, we're not supposed to actually do that. That's not part of surrender. But surrender means, oh Krishna, I'm yours, whatever you position you put me under any circumstances, it's okay, just allow me to serve you, allow me to think of you. So sometimes I ask Krishna, please give me a healthy body. That's material. Like people do exercise, yoga, and they go fitness, healthy. But if your motivation to have a healthy body so you can serve Krishna, that is okay. Just like you go to sleep. Sleep is not, it's a mundane thing. Some people, they need a really good bed to sleep. But depends how you can sleep or not. You can't sleep in a good bed if you can't sleep. You can sleep really well in a simpler place if you can sleep. So the idea is to sleep so you can get up, so body is rested, so you can serve Krishna. So you have to see what is the goal behind. Your actual motivation is to please Krishna. Then it is spiritual, even that exercise. So you have to somehow connect Krishna in the center. Otherwise, sometime what happens, in the name of material thing, it becomes, in religion, it becomes material. So you have to see where is the connection, where is the limit. So you can say, oh, it's for Krishna, but actually it's for you. So you have to be able to detect that. And it's actually, are you doing for Krishna? And somehow you can gradually slide down to mundane, to yourself. That's what we're meant to do. Detect, are we actually developing love for Krishna? Are we actually, our hearts getting purified? So that's surrender. So surrender is not like one little thing. Many aspects of our service to connect to Krishna. TK, you had a question? Okay. Somebody else? That's it? Okay, thank you. Hare Krishna. Have a nice day.